So how's everyone? This is the penultimate session. I mean, one session is left after this. So we'll do justice with your time, and we'll try to create this as much as value for all of you here. One thing I want to start with is that we will say what we have prepared. But if you have any specific questions, you can ask. We can start the discussion with questions, so that if you have any specific question, we can start with the question. But what questions will you ask? Because if you don't know the panel, what questions will you ask? So will I introduce the panel first? So Mr. Sunil Munshi, Mr. Vinod Sharma, and Mr. Satyanarayan. And I will request them to introduce themselves because they know better themselves than me. Sunil, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Sunil Munshi. I head the operations for Orion Mall by Brigade Group. I've been associated with them for 2 years, and before this, I've been in retail all my life. So that's about me.
Thanks. Good thing about having a short panel is not only we'll finish on time, we have a mic each. My name is Vinod Sharma. I'm the managing director of a company called Deki Electronics Limited. Deki is basically primarily an electronics manufacturing company. So we are sort of we don't belong to this forum really, but let me say why we are here. One of the areas primarily we make a component called capacitors out of Noida for the last 25 years, and we compete with the rest of the world in that. We diversified 6 years ago into making what we call show count footfall counting systems. I will talk a little bit more about that. The other hat I wear within the Electronic Association is as the chair of a few committees, including the Export Promotion Council, and I'd like to also touch upon that when I'm talking about the role that we could all play in getting retail industry up when we all come together.
I'm Satyanarayan. I head a company called Central Parking Services. CPS, as most would know, has been in the business of parking for last 10 years. We design, put together the technology, and operate car parks. We believe we are the largest parking management company in this country. We are in about 33 cities across the length and breadth of the country. We have a team of about 3,000 people, designers, technology, operation people across. So that's a quick little introduction about what I am and what we do. Thank you.
So I'm a strong believer that one should do what he is capable of doing. And I call myself a shopping center professional. And I'm moderating, so I'm misfit. So I'm connecting myself, so please bear with me, but I'll do justice to your time. So how many of us here believe that services are important and they contribute to the success of a shopping center? Anybody who disagrees? That's easier, no? Anybody who disagrees? None. So then we don't need these panelists, but they will definitely add this some value. So I will start with Mr. Vinod Sharma, that how much this will contribute to a success of a shopping center.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. The topic, as we are talking, is the artery to a heart, and I would say that the number of people that are going through that, what you often call footfalls, the measure of that is like our blood pressure. Right? I am actually sometimes very appalled by the lack of information that we have in an industry like this, and I'd like to borrow a little bit from our experience in other industries. So whether you look at electronics manufacturing, which is also in India about a 20, 30-year-old business, or you look at the automotive manufacturing, you look at healthcare, which is an emerging area. So most areas you will find that we are depending hugely on statistics. And I'm not saying that some of the malls and the retail customers of ours, clients, have begun to now look at statistics. However, I think the positioning of that whole statistics within your organizations, in my opinion, is not appropriately done. And what I'm saying is, so while you have a chief marketing officer, you have a CTO who's looking after your technology, you need to have somebody at the level of a chief statistics officer. Some of your malls have over 1 million people coming through month on month, I believe. Now you can imagine, so to me as a manufacturer, I would say, if I have 1 million data pieces there and I'm not doing enough analysis, information is the new oil, as we all know. So I'm leaving that entire bottom line on the table, in my opinion. There is a lot that can be done once we begin to analyze that. Technology, fortunately, offers that to us, and it offers it to us fantastically at different price points. This morning, Christian talked to us about a fairly advanced technology where we are tracking mobile phones. Easy to do at the moment, still some issues in India in terms of technology, legalities and privacy issues. But having said that, a very simple, you probably remember your classes in science in school, infrared device. It'll cost a few thousand rupees. You can just shoot a beam from one end, receive it the other. Anybody who crosses the beam can be counted. So I'm not saying it has to be always a very high-end technology, but simple counters at least let you know how many people came into a certain area, where did they go, and then if you want to know how much time they're spending in each one, we can develop on that.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Vinodji. Very relevant because I faced this situation many times. We have to take certain decisions, and what should we base our decision on is the question. And unless the data is very clear with us, we will not be able to take the right decisions. So first thing is to have data, and then the quality of data. We always believe that there's a particular segment which is coming to the mall and shopping, but then we thought that let's recheck our some of hypotheses, and we were very surprised. Most of our hypotheses were incorrect or not matching with what we believed in. So the information, the footfall, and then the quality of footfalls, all this is very, very important. Satya has been part of Select City Walk from day one, I believe. Yeah. So he is managing our parking, and we tend to believe that our parking is slightly better than other parking lots available in the city, in the country. So without giving him the credit of that, because there are enough mistakes there, but how...
Thanks, Yogesh. Very kind of you.
So I will ask him, I'll ask him that now, what is his experience pan-India?
See, I think we've been talking of parking for so many years. I mean, just like what Yogesh said, the day that Select City was starting to be planned, we were a part of the team. Invariably, we've heard in different shopping center forums that, parking is the first point of customer experience and last point of customer experience. It is indeed true. We've also, heard speakers yesterday, we've heard speakers talking about the importance of parking, given, no questions about it. What we see when I look at the journey of last 10 years is that parking has, changed dramatically in the last 10 years. Today, 80% of the developers who are starting to build shopping centers understand the importance of parking. They don't probably need to be told parking is the first point of customer, that kind of a story. They all realize that parking has to be perfect, has to be planned. It has to be factored in the design, in the architectural design when you start the construction of the shopping center. The second thing that I see is that the number of car parks provided as a ratio to the GLA has dramatically improved. Today, it is not uncommon to see shopping centers who have 2,500 car parks, 3,000 car parks, for a GLA which is, a little less than probably 1 million square feet, et cetera, et cetera. So clearly, the ratio of, the number of car parks to the GLA has dramatically improved. So I think the awareness has improved, the number of car parks has improved. People understand you need to provide for two-wheeler parks as well. So these are good things that have happened. Now, where is the market really headed? Now, people are saying that I don't want a plain vanilla parking lot. I mean, you have a gate, you have a bunch of people managing the car park, you exit out, you pay. Today, the market is demanding that, a set of things. So the mall customer is saying, I want more convenience. How can you make my visit to the shopping center more convenient? For example, can I, pre-book my space in the shopping mall? Let's say I've bought a ticket for a movie and I don't have a driver, especially for a high-end customer. So can I pre-book my, parking space so that I come there, a valet picks up my car, parks it and just gets it back when I just call a helpline number. So this is one convenience that they're looking for. The second convenience they're looking for is that, look, I've come for the second show movie and I don't want to stand in a queue for 20 minutes to exit out because I need to pay that, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever the tariff is as a parking fee. So this is, people are, no longer take it that I have to wait for 20 minutes to just pay for my parking fees. Similarly, the other change that is happening is in terms of saying, can I pay with my credit card? So customer convenience is becoming a key. It's I think, something which is going to see more prominence as we go along. The second aspect that I clearly see is that we think that parking is, in a way, a retail business. So how does a retailer connect to the parking? So let's imagine that I was a major soft drink company, let's say a Coke, launching a new soft drink in Select City Walk. And I want to, this is a very premium drink, goes with the image of the mall. And I want to give the first 500 customers who buy this soft drink a free parking. So how do I make this experience very easy without having to make the customer go to a redemption help desk, go here, go there. Make it very easy, just use the barcode on the soft drink bottle. Most of the retail products have a barcode. Can I use that to redeem my parking? Or for example, if there is a Hard Rock Cafe or there is a B bar and they're having a party, which Yogesh has called all of us. And he said that, I'm going to give away free parking. So how does the parking redemption get embedded in the invite? It can be a Facebook invite, can be an email invite, can be a SMS invite. How does that get embedded in the invite so that, when I enter, the machine knows that I'm a guest of Yogesh on entry, and on the exit, it says, no, thank you very much. You don't need to be charged for parking because it's already taken care by Yogesh. So I think these are things where retail interfaces are becoming very important. The third thing which is becoming very important is, I think lots of, just like, we were talking just before this, do you know your customer? How do you know your customer? How many times does he come to the mall? How long does he spend? What does he do? So clearly, we can build a BI layer on the parking system, on the parking technology, which can give us some bit of information in terms of, the length of stay, type of vehicle, et cetera, which can be meaningful. It can be definitely meaningful. For example, if there is a new release of a movie by Shah Rukh Khan, how does the footfall improve? Or if there's an IPL final, how does the footfall decrease? So I think there can be many, many things that can be done with a layer like this. The fourth layer, which is very important, fourth area where we see a lot of action happening is in terms of technology. Now, why is this action happening? Very simply, in the last 7 years, 8 years from the time we started to operate, we see that the cost of people has gone up drastically. Today, every 6 months, the government of India, raises the minimum wages by about 10%. So, these guys are probably a little above the minimum wages. So that kind of puts a pressure. So today at CPS, we are very clear that in the next 2 years, we will reduce the number of people by about 30% to manage the parking lots that we manage by having more technology, getting the people trained better so that the economics of running the parking lot works for us. So when we talk of this technology, clearly, we talk of technology like a parking guidance system, like a bay guidance system where I can do away with people in some of the driveways, in the aisles, and it tells me that the parking space is available. Or it can be things like auto pay stations. I don't need to go to the exit to pay for my parking. I can pay at a machine, at auto pay machine. Today, every job that we do, most of the jobs, today we have auto pay station. I think it's becoming a standard. Things like this are, things like, pre-booking your parking space, express exit lanes. All of these are making a big, big difference in the parking operations, in the parking business that we manage.
Yeah, thanks, Satya. So I'll request Sunil Munshi because he is he's general manager for Brigade Orion. So he is utilizing some of these services and he has seen how it works and it doesn't work. So I'll request him to share his experience with us.
Yeah. See, what I feel is that today's consumer is very well-traveled and well-read. So for him, when he comes to a shopping center, it is not just for buying. You cannot say that I just want to buy. Today for him, convenience and choice is at par. It is not all about choice now. It is about convenience and choice. So choice can be replicated. Things can be replicated by somebody else. But what will make the difference for him to come back is what is the convenience that you give to him with the choice to offer. That's what I feel is important. What they touched upon, I think, Vinod and Satya, are very important points. Technology helps us ensure that we improve our convenience and touch points. I feel in the long run, technology will keep on changing. But there also is a human touch, the experience. The experience has to go. He gets free parking, for example, he comes in. After that, is the parking lobby well lit? How much time does it take for him to reach the parking lobby? Does he get the escalator where he can go fast? Does he not have to wait in a queue? How can he go out? I feel in parking, we always talk about consumers. I think it is very important because I have 150 retailers. what is the facility that we give for them to bring their vehicles for parking in? Is there a separate vehicle? If you don't have a separate route, you don't plan all those things. You've got to make 20 cars wait, come back while the goods vehicle is going. I think all those are inconvenience things. Security, lighting, I think they play a very, very major role and are very important, if managed properly, can make the difference. Because in the end, all shopping malls are buildings, solid structures. So these things are what will put the human touch in that and give the mall a individuality about the mall, talk what I am, and that's what will make the people come back.
Yeah. Thanks. Vinodji, I mean, you are from this technology-driven company, and have you thought about how you can help a shopping center succeed?
So it's counting in the people that are coming in, but also counting what are they doing, where they're spending time, and what kind of activities are done, relating it in some cases with the retailers we talk to sales. But having said this, I'd like to take this discussion slightly differently of saying, as the retail industry, what are we saying to our stakeholders? So if you look at any ecosystem in any sector, all of you together are the actors. The shopping center and the retailers are the actors who are making business out of the money out of the business. Obviously, there's a layer of customers, clients, guests, people like me or my wife or children who are coming to shop in those places. But then there is also this whole layer of drivers, which is the entire municipality, the police, the state government, the taxation authorities, and the people who decide the policies which drive all of us. So if you were to look at that, I feel statistics actually plays a role to that level. Do they know that 1 million people are going through that space every month? Do they know that around, give you an example, Christmas is not a very Indian festival. It's thanks to developers like you who have made that a festival of India. Valentine's Day. Where do people celebrate Valentine's Day? Is largely in the malls and the shopping centers around this country. And that's going to happen. So you're playing an extremely important social role. My proposal is as follows. It's a very simple proposal. Along with someone like Images on our own or some of you, we can join hands with saying, provide some kind of an equipment that checks footfalls coming into every mall, and then publish this as the data for public consumption. You know, that becomes the sort of the index of what is happening this month or this season or Diwali or whatever, in what region. How are malls doing well? So there are things like that that can be done, which can take the whole discussion to another level.
Lovely.
I think he's got very valid points. What he's talking is, for example, if I come to know at what hour of the time, which floor has maximum entry, I can plan my security, my housekeeping, saying, okay, this is a Friday, the movie is releasing, this time of the hour, there's too much traffic. I can plan my schedule, my shifts in that way. It always helps me then save costs because I know which time of the day do I need. I call lesser people in the morning. I think that's a very valid point.
So, I mean, importance of services is, I mean, everybody understands that nowadays, same number of brands, similar brands are available everywhere. So how do we create differentiators? So services will play a very, very important role in creating differentiators. Like, we will continue to make mistakes. I mean, there's never end to learning. But how quickly we realize that we have made a mistake and how quickly we recover, that's the important. Now, once we started a service which we felt will be the only idea and it was the greatest idea and we thought it will definitely succeed. We still believe we are ahead of time, so it did not succeed. I mean, we will not like to believe that the service was wrong, but people did not take that service. So many times we are ahead of times, or many times we lag behind. And the most important problem maker is self-referencing. Now, many shopping centers have failed or not done well as expected because they were built on self-references. No, because I like this, so I want to put this brand. I feel this will work. So instead of going to an expert, we try to do self-referencing, which is a big mistake, and it's a huge money at stake. So, I mean, my only advice to myself and everybody present in the room is that never try to do self-referencing beyond a point. You go to a specialist, they are specialists, they know little more than you for sure. Now, I will not say that they know exactly everything, but they definitely know more than you. Now, when you plan a hospital, you will not hire a person just like that for operations, no, for a surgery. You will go to a specialist. But in shopping center industry, what happens that everybody tends to believe that he knows this business. Many malls have suffered because they felt that this is the way, we should go this way. without consulting the right people, without going to the specialist and asking, without going to the customer for which they are building the mall. So why are you making a mall? For whom? For your own shopping? I mean, you can go and shop anywhere if you have money. Why do? I mean, my boss, Arjun Sharma, gives a very good example that if you love tea, don't buy tea gardens, no? Enjoy tea. So if you love shopping, don't put shopping centers. So self-referencing is very, you have to avoid self-referencing. So then you go to the people you believe they know the business. Now, I was reading a success story, and the problem with human behavior is that we like to read success stories, no? Nobody likes to read the failure stories. But failure stories have more to tell, no? Why they fail. And success stories have, I mean, there are many times flukes, no? And many times good luck, and there are many chances, location, there are too many things. So I was reading, the Alexander the Great, he achieved so much. He achieved so much at the age of 31 and died, no? So I was thinking that how, and then I requested my colleagues to do some research, and then they came out, who was his teacher? Anybody, any guess? Who was the teacher of Alexander? Sorry? Soccer, yeah, I think I'll need to check because I'm confused. The two similar sounding names, no? Yeah, I mean, it started with Socrates, then Plato, then Aristotle. So Aristotle the Great, I mean, was the teacher of. So there are very, very little chances that Alexander would have gone wrong because the person who was guiding him knew life. He knew human behavior. He knew how humans behave, how countries behave, how cultures behave. So he could advise him correctly. So the point I'm trying to make, short point, is that please go to the specialist. They know their job little better, and please rely on them and use them. So anything you want to add here?
You put it very nicely. All I would like to say is, some of the things that we're talking about, these are not off-the-shelf purchases. So the problem that we face, people like us, that we are labeled as vendors or suppliers, and then we meet your purchase manager at the shopping center. Now that's absolutely, in my opinion, the wrong way to do it. What we need to have is a dialogue. With your management, with our management, sitting together and saying, what is the problem, or what are the figure that we want? What are the statistics we want? Based on that, what are the decisions you want to take?
Yeah.
And then we can only use technology as an enabler. And many times we will do it right, sometimes we will get it wrong, but if it's a dialogue, we will own up that mistake. The only other point I'd like to make is India is a very unique country, we all know that. Yeah. Everything we do is so different. And we were just chatting a little while earlier, even parking behavior. I mean, the whole idea of getting into a parking lot, paying for it, waiting in a queue, especially in an area like Delhi, which Yogesh and I both come from now, is not such an easy thing to do. We are not used to it. We've only done it for the last 10 years. Otherwise we would stop by at the next by lane and pick up whatever we wanted to do. We drive through. It was a McDonald's concept, but India's used it for many years.
Many years.
Right? We would drive through all our purchases. So there is a lot of, so what would work in Thailand or would work in Europe, we know won't work here. And that is why it's very important to have a dialogue with your technology provider or solution provider or someone like Satya or me, so that we can try and help you in that area.
Yeah. Excuse me for sharing things which are not related to shopping center, but I believe that all problems generate from human behavior and all solutions are also lying in the human behavior. So if we can correct that and go back to our human behavior. So what he said is very relevant, that we do not have a history of shopping centers. So why not to learn, ask. Every game has some rules. No? Every sport has some rules. So just to give an example, all examples can be used here and there, but just to explain my point, if somebody plays a football very well and you put him into handball, no matter how sincerely he plays, no fault of his, still there will be a lot of fouls. So there are rules of the game. Please, if you don't know the rules of the game, please learn. You need coach, and the human behavior comes into play. Everybody in this room, or I have come across in my life, wants to succeed, wants to be corrected. If I do something wrong, please tell me, I will correct myself. You try correcting someone, he will not talk to you again. So we all tend to believe that we are open to correction, but the moment somebody corrects us, we lose him as a friend also. So the point is that please be open to the ideas. If somebody corrects you, please sincerely accept that, at least reflect, at least check twice. A philosopher has said, I'm Buddhist, so a philosopher has said that if you agree with someone, think twice. if you disagree with someone, think thrice, because he has a point. He may have a point which you miss. So we tend to believe it and tend to disagree very quickly. So if you disagree with me, think thrice and then ask question. Sunil, anything? I mean, anything from your side? But before I come to you, anybody here has any question that will be surprised if you can ask question we don't have answer.
Chennai kind of city, the movie ticket is only limited to 120 rupees, but parking is year on year is becoming a 60 rupees to watch a movie or 80 rupees to watch a movie. How do you go to address that issue?
Satya, are you managing the parking?
Yeah. Did we discuss?
Expensive. It had to be expensive, no? He's a very expensive guy.
See, I think, example of Chennai is one singular example that I see in the last couple of years, which has contributed to the growth of the parking industry. So, well, on a lighter note, but, on a more serious note, to answer your question, just to give you a brief, we did a study of parking behavior in different cities. Just like, what Vinodji was saying, every city has a certain way in which it behaves in the parking lot. For example, place like Jaipur, Ahmedabad have the lowest propensity to pay for parking. Ahmedabad has the lowest propensity to pay for parking. So if you look at the shopping centers in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, for example, you normally find that the parking is free. Similarly, if you find a place like, Delhi, you find places like Bangalore, Chennai, the propensity to pay for parking is much more. Calcutta has a slightly different problem. I once had a manager who came to me, for a recruitment. He had been in the retail industry, so, knew a bit of the parking side. So I said, asked him, why should I, hire you? Tell me something about Calcutta. So he said, the problem in Calcutta is that two people would be fighting on the premise lag gai to. So there's no accident which has happened, but they're fighting on the premise like that. So clearly every city has, a behavior. Chennai, I think, probably contributed to, one, shopping center, very well located, beautiful shopping center, and a set of sequence of events which happened, which led to the tariffs being high. And, today I think that is kind of, somehow accepted throughout Chennai city. But having said this, if you really compare the parking tariffs in India, vis-a-vis rest of the world, even a country like Brazil, which is probably as developed as India or, probably lesser, the tariffs are much, much higher, at least 4 times, 5 times what we pay in India for parking. So clearly, I think Chennai is an example which is more out of context. I know the example that you're talking about, but clearly the parking tariff across the country is on the rise.
Anybody else? Any other question, query, remark, comment? We did a good job, I believe. All questions got answered. Anybody has anything to ask, share, please feel free. Yeah. Anything you want to make a comment or the closing remark?
My only remark is don't go through life without measuring your blood pressure. So help us to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah. I would probably say a quote is, people may hear your voice, this is in context of the mall, but they experience your attitude. So you may talk about your mall, but when they come in, the attitude that they experience is important. That is what they feel. So the feeling is important that we should.
Satya, you want to say something?
This probably been said hundreds of times, but doesn't hurt if you say it again. I think parking definitely is an important part of the mall design. I think the earlier that we get into the traffic flow, into the circulation, into the parking design, the better it is. And, parking, when you look at parking as a complete, subset of your mall, I think it is design, technology, and operations. I think all of them have equal amount of importance. So I think very important to get the design right, very important to get the relevant technology right, and I think, important to get the operations to be tied in with the design and technology. I think if you get these 3 components in a shopping center right, you can be 90%, 95% sure that the parking is going to work for the shopping mall.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to make a couple of comments. So I will request you to be seated here for a while. You know, I have been associated with one project. I mean, my information knowledge is limited to one particular project. But the good thing about it is that I have been involved in from the auction time to building it, leasing it, and now trying to run it for a while. So we have tried to invest into services, and every time we feel that services have added more value. Brands have definitely added value, but as we know, we started with commodities, then we started with goods, then we went to services, and then we went to experiential services. So at this stage where India is passing through, we have to have experience. We have to provide experience which is unique, different, better, and keep improving it. Every person who comes for us, 35,000 people come a day. But, I mean, every day, for them it's first visit or the next visit. I mean, it's not the same people come every day, So everybody is coming for the next time or the coming after a while. So we have to manage their experience every time. You cannot say that 10 times I gave you a good experience and 11th time I screwed, 10 times is a winner. If you screw once, I mean, then it's a loss. So what we are even trying to do now further is that if a customer has a bad experience in a shop, which is not even under my control, the person is put off, the visitor is put off, the guest is put off, and that person, generally lady, will make an impression that shopping center, I will not go to City Walk because I had a bad experience. So now we have to go further down and manage the experience to that level that even the customer experience inside the shop has to be at same level or better than us. So I was discussing with Vinodji, he is expert on technology, and there's so many information required to take the right decisions. At the moment, most of the shopping centers are only trying to collect footfalls. I mean, this is a footfall number. Footfall has relevance, but quality of footfall and then what they are buying. Now there are technologies available where you can, we can measure that how many people came into the mall and how many looked at their window and how many came inside the store and how many bills got converted. So if you use technology to the advantage, you can take right decisions and easy decisions, and hit and miss approach will be reduced. At the moment, most of us, because this industry is new, is now making hit and miss approaches. But if we do it scientifically with the help of technology, we can do much better job. I love to give this example that since morning and since yesterday we are talking about the relevance. Shopping center has to remain relevant for a long time, and every time people come in, they have to find it relevant. In 2007, when we started building this mall, we went to Dubai to learn from Burj Mall, for example, and Dera City Center Mall. Both malls were doing extremely well. We went and took notes and all that. Within some time, 3-4 years, Mall of Emirates came, and today, if you notice, Burj Mall has gone down drastically. They're trying to come back in life. Dera City Center also went drastically down, but they changed 55 stores in 1 year, and then they came back to life very, very quickly. So relevance is very important. If you are successful today, you cannot guarantee that the success will continue for tomorrow. I met someone, and the person was having a financial problem, huge financial problem. So I asked him that what happened. She said that my father was a big businessman, good businessman. I said, then what happened suddenly? She said that the business is not working. I said, what business he is in? He says that he's into business of VCR. It is no more relevant now. The times change so quickly. And most of us, must have known the Moser Bear story. Anybody knows Moser Bear story? Moser Bear was is the excellent company who came out with CDs very quickly. And they were very successful. The best brains in the world put money behind, and it collapsed. Because China could put up a factory faster than India. No business problem, everything was right. China could build a factory faster than India. Then came Taiwan, came with the pen drive. So who buys CDs these days? So relevance, things will change very quickly. Before you know it, the things will change, and now you have to keep up the pace and remain relevant. And same applies with our jobs. If we don't remain relevant, somebody will come and replace us quickly, sooner or later. That's all from our side. Anybody has anything else to ask?
I am Colonel Mandeep Singh. I look after Alpha One Amritsar as well as corporate security of Alpha One Group. I have been hearing, for the last 2 days, from the inception stage, we had, so much good architects, everything. Have you ever involved a security expert and a safety expert at the inception stage? We are running malls. We are sitting on volcanoes. Imagine the amount of, burning material lying inside. And today in our country, we have no technology whereby if a temperature reaches more than 2000 degrees centigrade or 20,000 degrees centigrade, we will not be able to do anything. The number of casualties which we will suffer and will not be able to answer, to our nation. So, I have been, attending a lot of seminars in America and Europe. And in that country, when the architect sits, the security expert and safety expert is sitting with him. Because their first aim is to protect our citizens and then earn money. I think there is a requirement of change.
Yes, please. I mean, I will add another angle to this. I mean, if the CAM costs are very high. Every retailer is talking about the CAM cost is very high. If you analyze, the highest cost is of security. Because when the architect was drawing lines, nobody was around to tell him that no, operational cost was not taken into account, and which becomes a pain forever. Very well said, sir. Thank you so much for your point. Security is definitely, and if I have to add, sir, can I ask you another similar question? But what will happen to the markets? I answer this question differently somewhere, because police also puts a lot of pressure on us that what are you doing for the security? Now, if you go to Lajpat Nagar market, we are slightly better than them, at least. We are better than Sojnagar market.
I just want to say, whatever security, basically there is no security in the mall, it is just loss prevention. Mm-hmm. We can only prevent loss. Security is the responsibility of the government.
Yes.
But when you design a mall, like today, say, may not be today, another 5 years when Americans and all, they are, off from Afghanistan, there may be chances of, explosive-laden vehicles driving straight into the mall. You just have to design bollards in such a way, which we call is crime prevention through environmental designing. You just design it nicely so that, environment is also nice and you have protected one thing. If you come sometime to Alpha One Mall, we will show you how we have designed it. We have prevented crime because Amritsar, Punjab is more prone to crime. We have designed in such a way that the help of plants is taken to protect our mall, to give depth to the mall, so that there is no direct, somebody comes with a, vehicle laden with the explosive, park it somewhere. It should not be able to destroy my mall. It is just one part. I just give you another example. You have got FHCs, fire hydrants.
Yeah.
Now, have anybody realized that from which all places it is covering? When the temperature reaches more than 2000 centigrade, probably one RL pipe may not be able to help you.
Yeah.
You have to carry out a fire survey. We do not do in our country.
Yeah.
And we are lucky that, everything is going on okay. God is with us. But we must take this thing into...
You rightly said that it's not the mall issue, it's the country issue, Yeah. So, one last line to conclude the session. That we all feel that shopping center, I have been hearing since yesterday that shopping center business is very tough business. Do you agree with me? If you agree with me, then you have not tried your hands on movie making, no? It is tougher. So, it is a tough business. It is one of the tough business, but it is not the toughest business. And if you do take the help of the right people, you can predict a good shopping center, you can project a good center. And with that positive note, I will close this session. Thank you so much, Vinodji. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Satyanarayan, Sunil Munshi, Vinod Sharma, and Mr. Yogeshwar Sharma. Thank you so much. We had an awesome session.